this video, I want to use the SUMIF function to calculate the sum of quantities based on the country. Okay, so the SUMIF function is actually a function that produces the sum of numerical values, okay, based on the true or false condition. So if it checks for the condition and ascertains that the condition is true, it produces the result. So that is what we want to do. So as you know, if we go to the original data, you can see that this is the quantity, and then we want to find the sum based on the country. So we'll say equals to sum if. So the SUMIF function takes in three parameters. The first is the range. So the range is the entire column B, that is the country, because that is the range from which we want to get the quantity. So the criteria is United Kingdom, and then the sum range is the quantity column. The SUMIF takes in the range, the criteria, and the sum range. The criteria is the condition, okay, which can be greater than a value, less than a value, or equal to a value. So in this case, we are saying the criteria should be equal to United Kingdom. And then the sum range is the range of numeric values that you want to find the sum based on this criteria. So you close and then you press enter. So this is the sum of quantities that were bought within that period from United Kingdom. And then you can use the fill and do to fill up that of France. So you can see that the quantity of products that were bought from United Kingdom is higher than that bought from France. So this is how you can use the sum if. Then when you come to an advanced form, you have the SUMIFs. The SUMIFs takes in multiple SUMIF, in the sense that in the SUMIF we dealt with one range, but in the SUMIFs we are dealing with multiple range, more than one. Okay, so in this case we want to find the total sum of quantities based on the customer ID, and these customer IDs are all located in the United Kingdom. They are all located in the United Kingdom. So within the United Kingdom, these customers have been assigned this ID. So we want to find the sum of quantities, the sum of quantities of items that were bought by the customer. So this will be equal to SUMIFs. You press your tab. So it takes in multiple parameters. So the sum range is C, which is the quantity. So the first criteria range will be United Kingdom and the country. So we'll pick out the country. And then criteria 1 is H7, which is United Kingdom. And then the second criteria range is the customer ID. Okay, and then the criteria 2 is the customer ID. Then we close. You can see that it has many parameters depending on the number of columns that you are dealing with, number of criteria you are dealing with, and also what you aim to achieve. So if you close this now, you press your enter. So can you see the sum of quantities bought by this customer is 252. So we can use the fill handle to drag to the very end this way. So you can see that is how you can get the total sum using the SUMIFs function in Microsoft Excel. So we want to go into the next one, which is the COUNTIF. So the COUNTIF, just like the SUMIF, also works on numerical values, but in this case, instead of getting the sum of the numerical values, it gets the count of the numerical value. So we want to get the count of quantity, count of product quantities from the United Kingdom and France. So this will be the criteria against which we'll be getting the count of the quantities. So we'll say equal count if, and then we'll press the tab key. Just a second, let me. Okay, so we'll say equal count if. So there are two parameters here. The first one is the range. The second is the criteria. So the range definitely is the entire data here. Okay, and then the criteria is United Kingdom. Then we close this, then we run. So if you see United Kingdom, the quantity based on this record, there are 119 records. So out of 119 records of data, 99 records is from the United Kingdom. You can use the fill and do to fill the remaining, and then you can see that from France you have 20 records of data from France. So that is how you can use the COUNTIF to get the count of records in a data set based on criteria. Okay, so we want to go into the last, which is the COUNTIFs. So the COUNTIFs also works on the basis of the COUNTIF, just that COUNTIF takes in one column, one criteria, but the COUNTIFs take in multiple criteria. So we want to find the number of products, number of quantities that were bought by, out of the entire record, we want to find the number of records that the customer with these IDs have. So all of these customers are coming from these countries, So we want to find their individual records. How many times have they bought products from the website. So we'll say equals sum ifs, not sum ifs, please, COUNTIFs. Okay, so the count is taking multiple parameters too. So you have the criteria range 1, and then you have the criteria 1. So once again, the criteria range 1, okay, because this is the first one, this is the second, so criteria range 1 is B, and then criteria range 2 is criteria 1 is United Kingdom. Okay, and then criteria 2 is criteria range 2 is customer ID, and then the criteria 2 is customer ID that is here, and then you close this, press enter, so you can see. So you use the fill and do and run this, so you can see that this is the unique customers, unique records, unique number of times that these customers bought product from that company. So in this case, we are not dealing with the quantity. Okay, so you can use the COUNTIFs to get the count of the records or the number of times that a customer uses to get an item or series of items from a website. So that is how you can use the COUNTIFs. So we have seen how to use the if statements, the multiple if statements, the SUMIF, SUMIFs, the COUNTIF, and the COUNTIFs statements. I hope you have been able to learn something new today. We'll continue the series on Microsoft Excel in the next video. Bye for now.